sounds hard to tell. If I'm still living, then I'm crawling out of hell. I'm just a man, just got my story to tell. If you got ears to hear, I hope you listen well. Yeah. Yeah, what's up, everybody? I'm low today. What's going on here? There you go. What's happening, man? What's up, world? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Sunglare? Right in my motherfucking face. Happy Friday. Welcome to this fine Friday edition of BS with Hannas. That's me. I'm Nicky Hannas. That's what I call myself on the internet. Welcome to the channel. BS with Hannas live on YouTube. I make music. NickyBehannas.com. Heavy blues metal. Just heard a little bit. Hey, yo, what up, Smiles? Good morning, dude. How you like this fucking glare on my face? It's a bright one today. A fine Friday indeed. Yeah, man. So the whole premise of this show, I'll wake up and, I'll take a nice walk. I'll ponder some stuff. I'll read some good stuff. Come out here, talk to the people. I'm done here. Gonna go lift some weights. It's a Friday. Chest and arms on Friday to elevate the self. It's one of my favorite things. Chest and arm day is just it's just a fun workout, dude. Makes you feel good. A lot of people skip leg day. My homies last night were talking about some steroided out fool that they see at their gym every now and then. And I'm not mad at those who enjoy the juice. I'm not mad at them one bit. I'm not above it necessarily. I just ain't done it. But how you gonna be that big and be skipping leg day? Hey yo, Seth in the chat. What's up, brother? Good morning, dude. Happy Friday. Good to see y'all, man. Yeah, so it's a fine Friday. The world's fucked up. We know that. We know that. A lot of the stuff I talk about is me pondering and wondering how to navigate that without letting that outside shit kind of get in here and fuck me up, you know? I think a lot of people are subject to that unless you're totally ignorant to what's going on, and I don't think that's a good thing either. I think an informed position is better than a completely uninformed. What? I have no idea what the world. And there's something I'm kind of envious of those people sometimes too, though. I'm kind of envious of them, but that's almost like being envious of someone who's just dumb. Ignorance is bliss, as the saying goes. So, do you want to be blissfully ignorant? I don't. That's kind of like a personal decision, I think. I'd rather know. But that's also like fetishization of knowledge. And that's a bad thing. That's the Prometheus problem, bringing the fire to the people. That opens up Pandora's box. That fucks a lot of things up. The genie don't go back in the bottle. Yeah, I don't know. So that's why I like to start my day off with a nice walk and some reading. Read some good stuff today. That's why I constantly read and constantly lift weights. Seth says, I personally see this realm is perfection. Oh, brother, tell me more. Because I don't. I think the overarching story of this realm, I think the way God creates and the whole picture is how it's supposed to be. But I don't know. Does that mean it's perfection? That's interesting. That's very interesting, as a matter of fact. I don't know. I don't think we have we'll talk. Fair enough, dude. Fair enough, homie. Yeah, I mean, I think it is what it is. And that's a saying that is overused and cliched, and a lot of people hate that saying. It is what it is. That almost depends on how you say it, though. When you say it affirmatively, with conviction, with authority, dude, it is what it is. That's different than like a giving up submission, like, it is what it is. She says it's a throwaway saying. It can be, or it could be a very poignant one, Like, let's take what's going on in the world. Let's take this big miasma of a clusterfuck of everything going around. And it's hilarious that it's a Friday today. And Monday, I was more triggered than I am today. Because the state of the things is much worse today than it was on Monday, right? So I was mad about the Venezuelan operation last week. I think it's unnecessary and goofy. But that's just me. And I don't know shit. I work in a burger joint, dude. I've strummed my guitar. Like, I'm not I'm not so high up in the ranks of the world to have an authority on these things. But either way, I don't like it. I typically say, hey, America first. Let's worry about our fucking problems before worrying about regime changes and this, and that, so on and so forth, right? So in addition to that, now we have protests and potential riots in a handful of cities all across the world, or our country rather. You've got a massive, massive demonstration of people in Iran. We've got nuclear arsenals and allegedly nuclear. We got arsenals and fucking war preparations all over the motherfucking world, and shit's a mess. And shit's a mess. And the orange man is Twitter fingers are turning to trigger fingers, if we all remember that saying. So like it's crazy out there. And how much of that do I let bother me? So when my dude in here says he sees the realm as perfection, I don't know. I don't know that I can get down with that because if in I'm fortunate, privileged, dare I say, to be in a place where it doesn't really affect me all like that. I'm comfortable in the suburbs, dude. I can walk around my neighborhood without fear of being confronted. You know, I have the means to defend myself. I've fucking had the opportunity to build myself to be able to defend myself. Like all this stuff, that kind of matters depending how you look at it. But if I'm just like an innocent bystander thrown into the fucking upheaval of it all, I don't really have that position. Yeah, I don't know. And it is what it is. Like, what the fuck? How is that a throwaway saying? I would argue against that because it's so much bigger than any one person. It's bigger than two people. It's bigger than a small group. It's bigger than a moderate group. This is like massive Leviathan sized, institutional sized fucking issues. And I guess the only say, when the question becomes, well, what do we do about it? The answer can't be, there's nothing to do about it. I don't think it's that simple either. Some people say use your voice, speak truth to power, use what you have to do something about it to affect the change, be the change you want to see in the world. And that's true. But that mostly to me, to my understanding, to what I can observe, it's like a micro thing, dude. That's like a micro thing in terms of actually helping people in your immediate zone complacent. Well, you go ahead and give me a fucking alternative then. It's a throwaway saying. It's just showing complacency because I said it is what it is. How do you fix the world then? Go ahead. I will wait for an alternative to that saying because it's not even like an opinion. No shit. If I say an opinion on something, can you believe what's happening out in Minneapolis? It's like it's crazy. Well, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You got fucking people you have a massive federal law enforcement agency doing a massive federal law enforcement operation, and then you have a massive civilian counter movement to it, doing what a massive civilian counter movement does. The two diametrically opposed forces interface with each other, and like shit happens. It sucks. What makes me mad about all this is when people are so polarized, politicized about the ICE shooting for like as today's example, the current thing. Where I'm looking online and some people are like, one of two things. They're saying that ICE is the Gestapo and the federal government is shooting American citizens, which objectively is true, even if it's a misframe. That's not entirely accurate in my view. And the other side is, well, yeah, fuck around and find out. And it's like, dude, you guys profess this is like where I really, even if I vote Republican, this is where I really start to dislike the right wing because it's like you guys are fucking idiots, dude. You don't tread on me, motherfuckers. You Gadsden flag waving motherfuckers. You 3% waving motherfuckers. Punisher skull waving motherfuckers. All you're supporting a federal law enforcement agency shooting American citizens. Like the only response is that it's fucked up. The only real response, in my view, is that it's sad and lamentable and it shouldn't have happened. And it's a fucking bad thing. Celebrating this shit. Obviously, if she is indeed, because I can't believe what anyone fucking tells me with this stuff, But if, in fact, that individual was part of an organized, mobilized, potentially paid to protest operation, who the fuck knows? But that kind of tactic exists. These commies are out doing commie things. Who the fuck knows? And innocent motherfuckers get washed up into it. Misguided motherfuckers. People that have been moved and mobilized and like psychologically fucking attacked. They get fucking swept into the madness of it. And that's what they say about madness. In my experiences with madness, once it beckons, if you heed that call and you're into it, there ain't nothing you can do about it, dude. You're now in it. You're now in that fucking vortex of it, whatever it is, which turns you into the unfortunate person in the wrong place at the wrong time. And then fucked up shit happens. And it is what it is. So, given that it is what it is, we shouldn't be celebrating it. That's my big fucking takeaway of it. That's why I read stoicism. That's why I kind of act how I act. That's why I think how I think. I found that when I was getting really sucked up into the political machine of it all, which is designed to fuck us up. It's designed to divide us. It's designed to bring us down, destroy our attention, destroy our own hopes and dreams and our own ability to manage our lives, to get us sucked up into the presupposed cause. When I was wasted, when I was drinking and getting high and fucking doing blow and all that, that's when I was really much more into this stuff. Gave me something to support, gave me a current thing to support. Yeah, it's crazy out here, dude. And I think I've kind of gotten over what I've been pondering this week. I think I figured it out a little bit because I found a quote from Emmett Fox today in my morning readings. And he said something like, "Those who work like a parrot inevitably make the parrot's demonstration. They remain in the cage." That's a cage of your brain. That's a cage of your thought. That's a cage of your mind. If you have a chance today, read Matthew 24 and really listen to what the Spirit is teaching. Yo, good luck. I will do that. I will do that for sure. Jerome Wright supports the current thing, as he should. There's nothing to fix here. Yeah, I mean, you guys get it, dude. Like, I'm fortunate. I'm mostly surrounded by people that we're all on the same page, even if we vote differently or say we don't vote at all, say we're not really that interested. I've long held the belief that everyone's more similar than different, dude. Once you're really about it, unless you're parroting, unless you're making the parrot's demonstration, like Emmett Fox said, that puts your mind in a cage and you're like, you don't know that you're necessarily in one. You just squawk, repeat what you're told. It's reactive. There's not actually individual thought there. And that's a struggle. Because as I've read in my readings and like my thinkings about it, what this seems to me to do, because my big question is, what do we do about it? I don't think there is. I can get out of here. My fingers. But that just makes you doing that. And I don't like when people do that necessarily. I appreciate thoughtful analysis. I appreciate thoughtful commentary. So I try to be thoughtful, even if I sound like a spiraling idiot. I try to be thoughtful in what I come out here and talk about with this stuff. And it is me being thoughtful, saying it is what it is. I don't know what the fuck. How do I fix it? I fix it in a way by being good to people who are good to me. I fix it in a way by being good to myself and being a better example than I've been. Shit. Like, I think that's the bare minimum of what can be done about it. And who knows where that ripple effect goes. But if we're all just looking outwards and expecting someone else to fix it, some other thing or institution or body or governing structure to fix it, well, motherfucker, if you've been paying attention, you can't trust these motherfuckers for nothing. I've been waiting for years, being told for years that the best is yet to come and the change is happening. I agree the best is yet to come, but that ain't up to nobody else, man. We got to look in our own motherfucking selves and make that shit happen. I appreciate that. My man Seth says, "I'm thankful you're here sharing your thoughts with us." Well, thank you, dude. I'm grateful for you guys being in the chat. I'm thankful you're here, dude. So it makes me feel like I'm less of a psycho. I just fucking, running my mouth about God knows what, allegedly saying complacent things like it is what it is. Well, what are you going to do about it? What the fuck can you do about it? I was reading some Marcus Aurelius this morning, and Marcus Aurelius it's one of those things he says where it's more or less, today I will encounter the fool, I will encounter the ingrate, I will encounter the agitated person. And it's not, I shouldn't be mad at them for it. They're just ignorant to they're ignorant to the truth of it. They're ignorant to the wisdom of it. It's not, again, it's our nature. Marcus Aurelius says that it's our nature to get along and be good to each other and good with each other. Well, I don't know, Mr. Marcus Aurelius. I don't know, because Mr. Hobbes says the state of nature, the life of man, is nasty, solitary, poor, brutish, and short. The state of nature is warfare. The state of nature is conflict, sectarianism, and all these things. And when I read history, there's elements of it. It's an extreme rarity that people can rally around a central cause. As I'm reading stuff about the American Revolution, it's a rarity that people can have a figure to rally behind, such as His Eminence, George Washington, and rally and support the cause of American liberation. They weren't even thinking about American nationhood. They were thinking about just independence from the other, from the crown, from Britain. And as I read more and more of that stuff and learn it a little better, once the question of nationhood came into play, well, that sectarianism and that tribalism and that factionalism, that came roaring back, which is why His Eminence George Washington, that's why they were starving in fucking Valley Forge, because they're here, soldiers on the field, trying to make the difference. And then all the suits, all the aristocrats, all the politicians, the Continental Congress, they weren't doing a whole lot to help the Continental Army at the time. So who the fuck can you trust besides yourselves? It's a great thing if you have a group. I think that's an effect of all this stuff too on us as individuals. This macro-sized problem, how it manifests into us is it fucking imprints our subconscious. That's what I'm thinking. That's my most up-to-date thought on the matter. It'll imprint your subconscious to be hopeless and agitated and irate and demoralized. Demoralized is the operative phrase of it all. It'll put you into that position. And then once you're focused on it, if you're focused on it incorrectly, you really internalize it. You really latch onto that. So now that subconscious impression is going to shape your conscious thinking. And then once that starts, it just manifests. It just keeps spiraling. It just keeps reinforcing itself, which is why we got to do good things and read good things and think good things and say good things and so on and so forth. Because then the opposite can be pulled really quick because it's depressing looking out there, man. So we have to resist the slave mind, as some have said. We have to resist the fucking evils of the world. We have to resist letting this shit get fucking down. Be good to yourself. Be good to good people. That's what I think. That's what I think, at least, dude. And it's fucking bad. Definitely don't get on here and be galvanized and start supporting federal law enforcement bodies shooting Americans. That's completely insane. That's completely insane. Don't support this shit. That shit makes me sick, dude. Oh, I guess they fucked around and found out. You're making a bumper sticker. You're making a snide, own the libs. You're still owning the libs. It's been fucking 10, 12 years of Trumpomania, and you're still worried about owning the libs. You fucking people are fools. But what do I know? Thank you, Seth. I'll look at that. I'll look at that Bible verse later. Matthew 24. You got it. I'll do it in between reps when I'm fucking pumping some weight, fucking pumping some metal, getting after it, raising my fucking elevation. And it's funny, as I made little notes for today's stream, I got one Bible verse too, which I'll end with. I got this one. This is Proverbs 2:12. Wisdom will save you from the ways of wicked men, from men whose words are perverse. And wisdom is not given to you. Wisdom is earned. Wisdom is fought for. Wisdom is worked for. And wisdom should be held deep. Do I think I'm wise? On a good day. On a good day. So that's what I fucking got today. What am I going to take with me into my day? Evidently, Matthew 24. Thank you, sir. Yep. Yeah, I think that's it. Will save you from the ways of wicked men. Of wicked. Try not to wicked. Anyway, fired up motherfucking. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on this fine Friday edition. BS with B. Hannas, that's me. Nikki B. Hannas. That's what I call myself online. You can find this on YouTube at BS with B. Hannas. Sends out to Spotify podcast, Apple podcast, so on and so forth. You want some music? I make music. I'd rather make music than run my mouth, but neither here nor there. Heavy blues metal, NikkiBHannas.com, NikkiBHannas.bandcamp.com, Nikki B. Hannas on all streaming services. There's another YouTube channel I got too, just at Nikki B. Hannas, some live footage, some music videos, backing track, guitar jam, fucking series. It's a lot of fun. I'd rather do that than run my mouth and spiral about politics too, but let's just be Renaissance, man. Let's do a little bit of it all. You want to support the mission? You can download the music on Bandcamp, nickybhannas.bandcamp.com. You want to support the mission? Throw some money, pay what you want. I look at it all as a tip. I work for tips. You know what I mean? You want to see a condensed feed of everything that I do? Patreon.com. Be honest. Yeah. Happy Friday, guys. Keep ripping. One love. Keep it real. I'm out. Later.
It's all in